All right, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, and children of all ages, this is Seattle Pandemonium Shutdown, day 403, I think, by my count. So what's going on? What's going down? We've got, what do we got? We got, more, it's just more. It's like always more. So I wanted to try to articulate, because articulation is a skill, I guess kind of like diction, get your mind out of the gutter, that you can formulate the right sequence of words, almost like a magic spell, if you will, and reality will then conform to the words you have applied to it. Now, this relates to what's called the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, if we're going to get real rabbit holey about this, which is that language shapes culture and culture shapes language. Okay. I can, if you don't have a word for snow because your culture has never encountered snow, well, then you're going to invent a word that describes what snow is, and that will then become a part of your culture, that there's this concept of frozen rain that falls from the sky or whatever, right? Now, this is going to infect other parts of your language, right? Like coming up with words or a sequence of words to describe something that's happening that you previously didn't have the words for. Okay, that's real abstract in terms of like how language works and culture, whatever culture means. But I want to go to something I've addressed this before on this, if you can call this a program. The rhetoric, the rhetoricity of the, let's call it Black Lives Matter, ACAB, defund the police, crowd. So we hear conflicting rhetoric. And when I say conflicting rhetoric, I mean mutually exclusive, incompatible rhetorics. For example, no justice, no peace. Okay, I get it. Like, until we have justice, we will continue rabble-rousing and making a scene and making a fuss. And that will, you have to deal with that until, well, basically, we're an angry mob. Until we get what we want, we're going to keep destroying things and bothering people and being a nuisance. Okay. I mean, I guess fair enough in terms of, disrupting the powers that be or what have you. Okay, fine. I get it. But then also defund the police. Now, I understand these aren't necessarily the same people. There's like overlapping groups of people, and whatever defund the police means different things depending on who you're talking to. But let's take the two at face value and put them together and see how that works out. So, no justice, no peace. Meaning this officer in Minneapolis, much like Chauvin and his cohorts, his co-workers, they had to get arrested. This lady officer that shot the young man. Okay, so I believe she was arrested today. I believe that was the headline I saw. So, I mean, again, fine. If there's criminal negligence here and you can bring charges and you can arrest the person, okay, fine. Just because you're doing your job doesn't mean you're not responsible for criminal negligence while you're doing your job. Something like that, right? But how does that happen? Like, how does that process happen? That process happens because a person or people in this instance, other agents of the state were sent to arrest I guess, former agent of the state, since she resigned, because of what she did while enacting the will of the state on the people. Okay. So let's say she's criminally negligent. They hold her accountable. She's brought before a court, a jury of her peers, find her guilty, and she's then summarily incarcerated or punished in some fashion that satisfies, let's say satisfies the mob. So how did you achieve that justice that you're demanding before we can have peace? By sending agents of the state to go out and enforce the law on other people. So again, this is incoherent. You cannot defund law enforcement and then also demand justice in the form of the lawfare, law society, state system that we currently have. You want them to go to prison? You mean a prison created by the state, our state, United States government, or, state governments at, local level, republic and all that. You have to fund them in order to have agents of the state to go and enforce whatever your woke nonsense is, or whatever your legitimate grievance is, to go out and enforce that on the public. Otherwise, the law is meaningless and the policy is meaningless because there's no means of enforcement. Now, this is extreme. I keep using this phrase, extremely uncomplicated. Like, this is manifest. It takes like 5 minutes of thought, and you go, oh, this is incoherent garbage, which is, in fact, part of the purpose of it. It's not supposed to be coherent. It's just supposed to be hyper-emotional and scolding. You want agents of the state to go around being racist and killing black people. Well, not really. I mean, imagine just the paperwork and the settlements alone is enough to deter such behavior. Never mind the fact that police also kill white people. White people also act a fool when getting arrested and then get brutalized by the police, at which point it's like, what context do you think we live in? This is one of the things about, this kid in Minneapolis, Daunte. Well, he had a gun. Okay. He had an illegal gun. Under the Second Amendment, there's sort of technically no such thing as an illegal gun. However, that's not how our legal system is set up. Our legal system is not set up where we all can just buy machine guns from vending machines. I mean, I'm trying, I'm arguing for it, but we're not there yet, okay? That's not the paradigm that we're in. So, like Chelsea Handler, I was dissing her yesterday, I believe, saying, young black men have a 50-50 shot of getting killed by the police, so they shouldn't comply with their orders. That is wildly irresponsible. Does this make me a statist cuck? Maybe. But what I'm saying is we are not in a paradigm where you go, oh no, officer, they just said my gun is illegal, but there's no such thing because the Second Amendment. That's not how the law actually plays out. And resisting that enforcement of the law at the level that we are at, you and I most likely listening to this. I mean, unless Hunter Biden's listening. What's up, Hunter? Hit me up. Let's party. The context that you're in as a citizen, quote unquote citizen, having the law enforced upon you is not one that you should take glibly or lightly or suddenly act like you're some kind of constitutional scholar, okay? Don't do that, right? As much as it may be true that any gun control law is both racist and an infringement of the Second Amendment, also is irrelevant when agents of the state are enforcing the law upon you. Now, are you following me here at all? Like, let's take the libertarian argument or the anarchist perspective that we live in an authoritarian police state where arbitrarily the law is enforced upon us by state agents who are paid to victimize us. That's something like the anarchist or libertarian argument against law enforcement, right? Or against the state, at the very least. Okay, so you should probably do what they say because they'll, as the wokesters and hysterically emotional, people are saying, this young man was executed by, you know, state goons, even though the arresting officer was black and the other one was a woman, but intersectionality suddenly disappears because narrative. Okay, so the state is waiting for an excuse to kill you, so you should get all uppity and argumentative and pretend you're a constitutional scholar when you're getting arrested, which is, of course, by the way, not at all what that young man was doing. That young man wasn't saying, no, sir, I have a right to my Second Amendment and these charges are unlawful. This isn't Ned Kelly. This isn't the Boston Tea Party. This is a kid who's a problem kid. Yeah, he was a young father. Congratulations. You know, this is not some constitutional case. This is a kid. Maybe they mailed his summons to the wrong address. That sucks. The state still says you have a warrant for your arrest, right? Again, the libertarian argument or the anarchist argument that we live under the boot heel of the state. Yes, we do. So, what should you do? Should you get all argumentative and get executed on the side of the road by the state agents that are here to oppress you? Or should you do your damnedest to appease the system lest you be killed by it? I'm not saying anything I'm saying makes sense. I'm saying no one's making a lot of sense about all this. Like, he committed a gun crime, therefore he's not allowed to have a gun. That is an infringement of the Second Amendment. However, that's not the system we have where pure 2A interpretation is what's in play. And that's not the argument. He didn't make an argument when he was getting arrested. He just ran away because he didn't want to get arrested. I've addressed this before. Call it Grand Theft Auto going full 5 stars. Having been in bracelets before, I'm telling you, it crosses your mind. I'm going to run away, and I'm going to somehow escape. I'm going to bust out, and somehow I'm going to escape, and I'm not going to have to face the music of being incarcerated, doing the paperwork, going to court, handling all of the specifics of this specific infraction that is being imposed upon me. Now, you can pretend like this is just pure victimization, but even in my case, yes, I broke the law and I was arrested. Like, it can be dumb. It can be pointless. I could have been like, I didn't learn anything from you arresting me. I didn't necessarily even change my behavior because you arrested me. You just caught me that one time. Okay, they caught you. I could have escalated the situation into something much worse by not acknowledging that there's not any escape from the power of the state. Now, again, does that make me a statist cuck? Maybe, but I'm not dead. I mean, I'm trying here, guys. I'm really trying to make sense out of all this. And it is what it is. And everybody's just kind of, it feels like everybody's partially wrong about this whole situation with Minneapolis. Like, if you're rioting and burning down the Dollar Tree, well, then you're a POS and you should stop doing that. And I hate your guts for doing that. Am I backing the company as known as Dollar Store or Dollar Tree? No, I'm saying stop stealing stuff that doesn't belong to you and calling it social justice. You're an asshole. That's a fact. That's not even my opinion. You're objectively a lying asshole. Anyways, I don't know. That's my take on statism, state power, people getting killed by the agents of the state, and what you and I are supposed to do about it in the paradigm in which we live, not some other paradigm that we do not actually live in. That's enough from me for one day. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.